So we just completed up to procurement agent definition as a part of P2P configuration. Okay. Now in Fusion, what happens is when you create the requisition or purchase order, so PO. So system will derive the accounting. So the accrual accounts and the charge account, variance account, it has to derive. So, but in case of EBS, we provide all these accounts. We provide all these accounts through purchase options and inventory information. In the different options we specify, from their system will derive. So as a part of P2P cycle, inventory related setups and procurement related configuration we have seen, nowhere we provided accounting. The only the option is PO tab. PO means purchasing tab, transaction accounting builder. Through PO tab only we can set up these accounts. These are the 5 accounts basically we set up by using the PO tab, where system derive the accounting for requisition and purchase order. In case of receipt and other inventory related transactions, we have a separate options called as receipt accounting and cost accounting, which comes under core SCM part, so that we are not going to touch. So here accrual account, charge account, destination charge, destination variance. This destination charge, destination variance accounts are not required when we are dealing just what I can say, like shade center service futures. In that case, the destination charge and destination variance accounts are required. But basically, we have to set accrual account, charge account, and for variance accounts, we have to define the accounting rules. Okay, which accrual account, charge account, variance account system has to derive for which business unit, or by following which conditions we can set up. Now anyway, just our focus is on finance. Since we want to test the basic flow of P2P, we are doing this configuration. We'll go with the basic rule definition and the rest of necessary configuration which is required for PO tab. Okay, so we have to go on to define the rules. We can define for these 3 accounts, or nothing wrong if you create for 5 accounts. Okay, we'll go on to it. As a part of PO tab, we have 5 accounts. So we'll go with account rule for these 5 accounts. So here you can search with this task, manage account rules, which is related to purchasing. Okay, go to implementation project. So open the project. Okay, manage account rules. Here when we talk about manage account rules, we have to look at procurement. Again, within the procurement, that should be related to this. Here you see that procurement, define common configuration transaction accounting for procurement. You can see the transaction accounting for procurement. You can just click on this manage account rule, and here we have a task called as manage account rules. Click on go to task icon. Just click on create. Here see we have an option mapping rules we can create. In EBS, as a part of SLA, this is SLA related setup only. Mapping sets we can create. We can do the mapping. Okay, so condition based also we can derive these accounts, but here we are going to create the rule direct as a direct rule. The task name is manage account rules. Click on create. So here these are the 5 accounts. We have to create this rule. So accrual account, charge account, destination charge, destination variance, and variance account. First we'll create for accrual account. Which accrual account system has to derive? say Google accrual account, and select our chart of accounts. Google accounting flex field. Rule type account combination, you can go with account combination where you can specify here. Before that, just make sure that the subledger application which is selecting is purchasing. The navigation whatever we followed, if you follow that navigation, will be landing on this page where the system will select a subledger application name as purchasing. Now here we'll go and define the rule. Click on add rule. Which accrual account system has to select? Here you can select constant. Specify accrual account code combination. So company 1000, department 1000, account, accrual account. Search for accrual account. So make sure that when you create these accounts, you provide the natural account type as exactly. Okay. So if you go with a wrong natural account type selection, it won't work. Fine, done. Now you can say save and create another. We created one account rule. Still we have to create 4 more. Charge account. Google charge account. Select our chart of accounts. Google accounting flex field and define rule where we can set constant code combination for charge account derivation. Select company. Select department. Select account as a charge account. So here you could see that charge account. Select any one of the value for project. Say OK. And say save and create another. Next account is this destination charge, destination variance not mandatory. When you deal with a centralized procurement process, then only these are required, but no issues. So just will create for our understanding. Google destination charge account. Select our chart of accounts. Click on create rule. Select rule type as a constant. Select relevant code combination. Company, department, account is destination charge account. Destination charge. Select any one of the value for project. Say save and create another. Other rule is destination variance account rule. Say Google destination variance. destination variants. Select our chart of account structure. Say create rule. Select rule type as a constant. Specify the code combination. Select company, department, search for account called as destination variants. Select project. Say OK. Say save and create another. We have one more account to set up as a rule. Google variants account. So if you don't set up these account rules, and if you don't include these as a part of our ledger subledger accounting method, we cannot process documents called as requisition and purchase orders. You cannot complete the process of creation, so where these accounts are mandatory to derive. So here select rule type as a constant. Specify Google a variance account code combination. Fine, done. Now you can say save and close. For the five accounts, we created five rules. Okay, for five accounts, we created five rules. Now we have to go with the task called as transaction accounting account definition. So where we have to map these five rules to five definitions. The sequence you can see here. So manage transaction account definition. Before that, the five rules what we created, those you can see as a five account types. If these are the seeded, we don't need to do anything. We'll just go and review that. If you go to manage transaction account types, you could see those five as a five different account types. For these five account types only, those five rules we have to map. Okay, so we're done with this task, manage account rules. Now we have to perform the task called as transaction account definition. Through this, what we can do is the five rules will map to the five account types. The task is manage transaction account definitions. Click on go to task icon. Click on create. Click on create. Here you can provide the name as Google. See here, transaction account definition. The naming they given as a transaction accounting definition, but we call it as transaction accounting builder only. Tab only we call, we don't call it as a TAD. Okay, tab. Google PO tab. Select our chart of accounts. Now we have those five account types. For each account type, we defined one rule, right? That rule, the relevant rules we can assign to the specific account type. So accrual account, okay, account type is accrual account. For that, we define the rule. That rule you can select here. We define the accrual account rule as a Google accrual account. Map charge account rule, Google charge account. Destination charge account, select Google destination charge account. Destination variance account, we create a rule called as Google destination variance account. And variance account, Google variance account. So this is how the rules we have to assign to specific account type. Click on activate. Click on done. Now this definition, this tab we have to associate with our ledger specific subledger accounting method. Okay, so just we done with that. Now we have to go to a task called as manage subledger accounting options. Okay, through our ledger we can perform this task. So you can search for the task called as manage subledger accounting options. So here when you search for manage subledger accounting options, you could see many tasks, but you have to navigate which task talks about procurement related path. So here procurement common configuration transactions. You can just proceed with this task. Okay, choose procurement related only. So manage subledger accounting options. Click on go to task icon. Here find our primary ledger. Within the primary ledger only we have accounting method. Within the accounting method, PO related, the definition we have to change. For purchasing we have to assign the tab which we created, so that when we record the purchase orders or requisition, system will derive the accounting from the tab only. So we'll see that. So find our primary ledger. Primary ledger name is Google USA primary ledger, right? So Google USA primary ledger, click on search. So this is a primary ledger. Within this primary ledger we have accounting method, standard accrual we selected. Just expand Google USA primary ledger. Within the Google USA primary ledger, what are the accounting method we have? Within that accounting method, the accounting rules are available for which application all system will display. Okay, now we require for purchasing. So here we have a purchasing. Okay, so purchasing. Against purchasing, okay, click on accounting options. Click on edit accounting options. The tab whatever we created we have to assign here. So transaction account definition. Here we have to add our tab, transaction accounting builder. So we created as a Google PO tab. So this is what we have to do for each primary ledger if you are going to record the requisitions and purchase orders. Otherwise you cannot process, system cannot derive the charge account, accrual accounts and variance accounts when you create the PO. So this is what we call as a tab definition, PO tab we call. That's all. Done. So that's all about this PO tab. So purchasing document approvals, rules and all. Okay. So we'll just create this. We'll go and create set up the approvals. Okay, for requisition and PO, we'll go and set the approvals. After setting the approvals, we'll assign the roles to user, which roles will give the access to the requisition and purchase order. And before that, we have to complete the inventory related setups also. I think we didn't complete inventory related setups, just inventory organizations and all we created, but not all the setups. think I just mentioned those relevant setups here. We'll see that. Okay, fine. We'll go on to set up approval rules for purchase orders and requisitions. So you can take the same task, manage purchasing document approvals. Before that, we'll set up for requisition. So manage requisition approvals. We'll go and set up approvals for requisition. Manage requisition approvals. Click on go to task icon. Here we'll go and set auto approvals. So for specific business unit, if any requisition is created, that should be approved automatically. So as a part of payables, we gone through that workflow. Within the workflow, we have many nodes. The same way for requisition approval, these are the different nodes are available. For payables, if you want to set approval directly, we have to navigate to BPM. But in case of procurement, it could be requisition related approvals or purchasing related approvals. They given the user interface here itself. If we do the setups here, these will be reflecting in the workflow. That's how they given. So we have seen the process of how to enable or disable the node directly within the BPM for our invoices. Here, if you want to enable or disable or any node, these all are the different nodes. So this node is already enabled. If you want to disable, you select it, click on disable. So which node you want to enable, just from here only you can enable. Okay, say for example, I want to enable this node. Okay, just say enable. If you want to create any rule within this node, select the node, click on edit rule. And we'll go and create one rule here. We'll create the rule saying that if any requisition is going to be created against our Google US business unit, that has to be approved automatically. We'll say Google auto approvals. Just say okay. We just given the name, and here you can write the condition. Click on add condition. What is the condition? If BU is going to be our BU, that should be approved automatically. Here say requisition. If requisition business unit is equal to our business unit, that should be approved. Here you could look for that value. Okay, search for requisition business unit. Here is the attribute requisitioning BU. It's like if condition. If requisition BU is equals to Google US business unit. Okay. If requisition business unit is equal to the value is Google US business unit, then what is the action? That you can just specify under actions. Click on add action. Then what system has to do? Approvals are required. Here approvals are required means you can set approval group or any other specification. I'll say here action is automatic. Automatically system has to, the outcome should come as a approved or rejected. If any request is going to be created against Google US business unit, automatically that has to be approved or automatically that has to be rejected. We'll go with that has to be approved automatically. Okay, this is how just auto approvals you can set up, and you can say save and close. If you create the rule from BPM, what we do is we'll save and we'll commit, nothing but deploy. The same we have to do from here also. You have to click on deploy. So this is how we can create you can enable the node and we can create the rule by using this manage requisition approvals. This same rule will reflect in the BPM requisition approval workflow. Okay, so this is how they given the interface for procurement related approvals. And the other PO, if you want to set the PO approvals, purchase related approvals, here is the task. Manage purchasing document approvals. Now we just define the rule for requisition. Now we'll go and define the rule for purchase order. Task name is manage purchasing document approvals. Click on go to task icon. Fine. So here there is a one node which is enabled. You can just proceed with that, or else you can disable that node and we can set whatever the node is required. Thus I'm going to enable this node and we'll define the rule as a auto approval in case of purchase order also. We enabled, click on edit rules. Already there is one rule defined by someone. We can keep that is as is, or else if you want to disable that rule you can disable it. So let's create our own rule. Say Google auto approvals for purchase orders. Here say add condition. What is the condition? A procurement BU. If procurement BU is equal to RBU, that has to be approved automatically. Procurement BU. If procurement BU is equals to Google US business unit, search for the value. Okay. If procurement BU is equals to Google US business unit, then what system has to do? That you can specify in the action. Automatically that should be approved, irrespective of amount. So save and close, and we have to submit this for deployment. So this is how simple rules we can define for requisition and purchase order. So we're done with this. So we defined rules for requisition and purchasing document approvals, both we defined. So now we can go and assign the roles. We can go and assign the roles to user. So which roles allows this user to work on inventory process and purchasing process. We can assign the roles and we can give the role provisioning, data access provisioning to that user related roles. Once we're done with that, we'll go and create the item. Before item, we have to create the item class. We'll see that other required setups we'll just go through. That's how we can proceed with the transaction process. Here what we'll do is, so a few more tasks we have to perform as a part of setups. So we'll do this. After completing this task, after assigning any roles, we know the process we have to run LDAP job. After running the LDAP job, okay, and anyway, I think sub inventory we didn't create. We'll go and create the sub inventory. So here, these create invoice matching with, we'll create sub inventory. Okay, roles already we are assigning. I'm just removing from here. We have to create the item class. We'll talk about it. Item class we have to create. Assigning roles and all already we are going to perform before this. And say create item and assign to inventory organization. Set up requisition approvals and all that already we completed, right? Okay, create item already just we taken here. So once we're done with that, this is the process we'll follow. So we'll create the purchase order, we'll approve it, create purchase order matching with the PO, and purchase invoice with the PO, and we'll see the requisition and all. So provide in very simple way, what we can do is the process wise, we'll create requisition and we'll approve it, and we'll create auto purchase order. Based on requisition, we'll create the PO automatically and we'll approve it, and we'll create receipt, check on hand quantity, create invoice in AP through matching. Simple. Okay. So we done up to here. Now we have to assign the roles to user. The roles which are required to work on the basic process of inventory as well as PO. The required roles we have to assign to the user. To assign the roles, we can go to security console, go to navigator, just click on more. Task is security console. Select security console. Go to users. Find our user. Username is Google. The first one. Click on the user login. Click on edit. Say add roles. So here first we can go and assign the procurement related roles. Say procurement manager. Assign procurement manager role to the user. Other roles like procurement requester, and you can search for another role called as the procurement preparer. This would be enough to work on the basic procurement process, and apart from this, if you want to assign some other roles, you may assign a role called as advanced procurement requester. We know very well how to just verify what privileges we have as a part of role. The same we can follow. So that this is how just we can check. And I think already we assigned the role called as buyer, right? We'll verify once. Yeah, buyer is assigned. That is the reason it's not displaying. So now we'll assign inventory related roles to user. So inventory related roles, like we have a inventory manager role. Inventory manager, assign role to user, and we have other roles related inventory as a warehouse manager and a warehouse operator. Say warehouse manager, and other role called as warehouse operator. Done. So these are the basic roles which you have to assign to the user to work on inventory and purchasing related basic processes. So now we have to go and do the data mapping for these roles by using the task called as data access for users. Okay, for procurement related roles, we have to assign the business unit. Inventory related roles, we have to assign the inventory organization. Go to FSM homepage, or directly from project also we can access the task. So task name is data access for users. Click on create. User is Google. First we'll complete the BU assignment to procurement related roles. So advanced procurement requester. Security contest is business unit. BU name is Google US business unit. Right, we have three more procurement related roles. Select procurement manager. Security contest is business unit. The contest value is Google US business unit. So username is Google. A role you can select as a procurement preparer. Security contest is business unit and value is Google US business unit. Just click on add, provide username, select role name as a procurement requester. Contest is BU, contest value is Google US business unit. Now we have to assign our inventory organization to inventory related roles. Before we go and perform the task, we can say save and close. At a time, if you try with multiple roles assignments, sometimes the process may hang and it may require to perform it. So better you can save after assigning 3-4 roles any data access. So again, just we can go with the same process to map inventory organization with inventory related roles. So here you can select role called as inventory manager. Security contest is inventory organization. And here we given that the code, okay, code is GUS, Google US. This is not master, we never assign master inventory. So only physical inventory, actual inventory, Google US inventory. This is to select, and same you can repeat for remaining two more roles also. User is Google. So for inventory manager role we mapped. Now we have a warehouse manager and operator. Select warehouse manager, inventory organization. Click on add. Warehouse operator. The security contest is inventory organization. You can select value as a Google US inventory. Say save and close. Now we can go and submit LDAP job. So already that page we tagged as a tagged into favorites, right? Just click on favorites, click on ESS job page, submit LDAP job. Fine, done. May take some time. Meantime, we'll proceed with the other required setups. So we assign required roles to user related to inventory and to procurement, and we provided data access for users for specific BUs and inventory organizations, and we submitted LDAP job. Now we'll go and create the sub inventory. So to create the sub inventory, you can go to project, go to implementation project. So within the implementation project, if you have a offering, we just added offerings, right? If you have an offering called as material management and logistics, this will allow you to create the sub inventory organization. Search for sub inventory. So that is available only from material management and logistics. You don't see this from product management or procurement related offerings. So manage sub inventories under locators. We don't need locators. We are going to create the sub inventory. So task name is manage sub inventories and locators. Click on the task. Click on go to task icon. So we have to create sub inventory within the inventory. Select our inventory organization. GUS, right? Google US. Search. Organization means organization code. So organization code, organization name. Select, say OK, and click on OK. So within this inventory organization, we are going to create the sub inventory. To create sub inventory, click on create. You can give the name as sub inventory 1. So no other specifications are required. Simply you can say save and close. Done. Click on done. Now in the Fusion, if you want to create item directly, you cannot create. You have to create the item class. After creating the item, it's all about classification of items in very broad level, where you can set relevant predefined information and defaults for item creation. So we have to go and create the item class. With the help of item class only, we can create the item. So to create the item class, you can go to project. From project, you can search for item class task. You search for item class. So here is the task called as manage item classes. Click on go to task icon. So what are the items you are going to maintain in your organization? All the items you can classify. See here you could see some predefined classification. Since this is a vision environment, there are many classifications are available. By default, you can have a root item class. Under root item class, we can create all the item classes. Say automotive, documentation, finance related item, healthcare, okay, industrial, retail, services, software, different item classes we have. This is how you can just classify all the items into different classes. If you want to create the new item class, you can select this root item class. That means we are going to create under that. If you want to create item class under automotive, you have to just select it. This will be under automotive, but normally if you want to create any item class, ideally we create under root item class. Root item class is seeded one, predefined one. Even in a fresh environment you could see that. So select root item class and click on create. So we'll just give the name as item class name as Google item class. After giving the name, click on save and add details. Fine. Just the name system is taking here. So this is getting created within the parent item class called as root item class. Yes, we selected root item class to create this item class. So go to item management tab. So here we have to give the specification item number generation method, how the item number should be generated. If you compare with EBS, in EBS system items key flex field we have. In Fusion we don't have that. Okay, item number generation method, you can specify how you want to generate the numbering within this for item creation. Okay, whether it has to be sequence generated or user defined. If you say user defined, user has to enter the number, or else if you say sequence generated, you can give the sequence specification. Any option you can proceed. User defined means when you create item, it will ask us to enter the item number. And what about the description? When you create item, we have to write the description for the item, how it has to be generated. So user need to be defined. User has to enter the item number, user has to enter the item description, or else that you can set as a sequence generated. If you set sequence generated, it will ask us what should be the starting number. The starting number should be 1001, and here increase by 1, 1001, 1002, if you want to keep some prefix or suffix for this items, that you can specify. Every item should start with a prefix of google google 1001, google 1002. This is how item numbering should system generate. These are all specifications you can give here. Okay, and you can go to security. Here we have to specify by using this item class, by using this item class, who can create the items, that you can specify again for which organization they can create. Under security, just click on add and select person as a principal, and select the person name. Current user only you can select. Google. Select inventory organization. Okay, after giving this specification, what are the privileges we want to give to this user to manage the item information, that you can specify here as actions. So we are allowing this user to create the items for this, for this inventory organization by by using this item class. So when that user is going to perform that item related definition, item related which privileges we want to give to this user, that you have to specify through actions. Click on actions. So what you could do is we will give all the privileges. Click on search without giving any criteria. So these are the different item privileges we can give to the user. So all rights to manage the items. Here you can just place cursor, Control A, all will get selected. You can say apply and do OK. Say OK, you could see in the background all are assigned. So all the privileges we are giving to this user to deal with the items. The same way you can click on add person, same Google. and organization you give the access to master. Here you just map actual and master both. So already we mapped, we just selected Google US inventory. Now we are selecting Google item master. For the same person, we are giving access to these two items. That means items can be created in the item master. Those can be associated with this actual inventory. Full privileges we are giving to this person. And for this mapping, also this secure this access also you can give the full privileges. Click on add actions. Expand this search. Click on search. Select all. Control A. Apply and OK. So we could see all the templates and all at item class level only. So the templates, you can add many templates here. Okay, here itself you can create the templates if you want to create. We create item templates in EBS, right? The same. But anyway, that is not required. That is not our task. Reality. Fine. This is how we have to create the item class. Once you are ready with the item class, by using this item class, we can create the items. So done. We created sub inventory and we created item class. Now we will go on to create the item and we'll assign the same item to our inventory organization, so that from that inventory organization we'll be able to have a item related transactions. To create the item, what we have to do is we have to go to navigator. Within the navigator you can find product management. Okay, product management. Under product management, go to task called as product information management. Now the inventory application is replaced with the product management in future. That is the reason the naming convention they are given as a product management. As a part of product management only, these item class definitions and giving the security and all we are just coming across. Now go to item class, task list. Within the task list you can see the task called as create item. Just click on create item. So we are going to create item from which item master. So Google item master inventory, and only one item class we mapped with this organization. That same item class you can find out Google item class. Now system will list out all the templates. You can select by using which template you want to define the item. So finished good or purchased, any one of the template you can select. Say purchased item template, select and say select and just say OK. So now system is taking the item number automatically. There we given 1001 and prefix should start with the Google, and description we given user has to be defined. Google item 1. Okay, set item status as active. Life cycle phase, if it is applicable, if you are just taking that item into different phases of development process or designing or whatever as a big process, you can select relevant life cycle phase or else directly keep as a active. So here under overview tab you can give unit of measurement for that item. Say unit of measurement for this item is say each. So you measure this item with a unit of measurement as each, and go to specifications. Here when you look at the specification through template, all the information will be defaulted. So these are the different tabs which you see in EBS case. when you create item you see multiple tabs. So the same tabs we have here. So purchasing related tab, under that it's a purchasable or purchased, all the tabs, this is all the information attributes system is defaulting from the template which we selected. The same way if you go to inventory related hyperlink, it will display all the information. Yes, it's inventory item, stockable, transactable, all it is just selecting as yes. And item people, okay, here item people, so who can have access to that item, just this is what the specification system is taking from the item class level, this specification we given. Now we have to go to directly associations. This item we have to assign to our actual inventory, Google US inventory. Go to associations. Okay, already item, by default every item will be created within the item master only, but this need to be assigned to our actual inventory. Click on select and assign. Here search for our actual inventory. So we are assigning that item to Google US inventory. This is very important, so that this item would be available within this inventory organization. So by default we are creating in the item master, but we are assigning to Google US inventory. You can say save and close it. Say apply. So done. You can say save and close. So item is created. If you want to see the same item, go to task list, say manage items. Now you could see that item is available in the two inventory organization. One is master and the other one is actual. Yes, reality we created within that is associated with the actual inventory. The item starts with a name called as Google. Search. See, item number is Google, we given as prefix, starting number is 1001. So the same item is same, but that is available in the two organizations, Google item master, Google US inventory. By using this item class, this item is created that is associated with this inventory organizations. So that's how we can create the items. We are ready with items also. So now we can proceed with the transaction process. So for requisition we have approvals, for PO also we have approvals. So now we'll see the requisition creation process. You can go to navigator or else directly you can go to home icon. Click on home. From here also you can navigate. So if you want to navigate from here, you can go to procurement section and say purchase requisitions. It has to display in the profile. Enter requisition lines. See here what happens is, wait 1 second, it is not displaying properly. Yeah. So we are under purchase requisitions. So manage requisitions means you can search and find the requisition. Go to more tasks. Basically earlier it was there displaying as a task list. Here now they are giving as a drop down. So what we have to do is, if you want to create any requisition, first you have to set the requisition line some default information. Enter requisition lines. Click on enter requisition lines. Here you can set the default delivery to location. select default delivery to location. Any one of the location you can give as a deliver to location where they have to deliver the material. Google US inventory location. Then say save and close. Sorry, not this. One second. Yeah. Upgrade requisition. Why they're not showing that? Fine. Go to purchase requisitions only. Here just first time just we entered requisition lines. First time when you are trying to create requisition, it will ask us to enter the default delivery to location. Once you entered, directly if you want to create requisition, you can click on select same task, enter requisition lines. Now it won't ask us to enter that default information already we entered. Now you can enter lines to create the requisition. So enter requisition lines. Line type is goods. So item is Google. Google 1001 item number. This is item description. Same will get defaulted. So quantity of item, one or two, three, whatever you want to. You can specify price for the item. Say $5,000. So before navigating to this window, first time we selected requisition lines. There we given the delivery to location as default. The same system is taking. Now who is the requester? You can specify, and here itself you can specify who is the suggested buyer. We are creating this requisition. Who can just whom you can suggest to act as a buyer against this requisition. That you can specify. You may specify the same user as a suggested buyer. Okay, you can provide all these details. We are suggesting requisition time itself. We are suggesting buyer also. Okay, and the destination type expense means we don't need to create just that receipt and all, right? Select destination type as inventory so that we can create the receipt against this. We'll create requisition, will convert into PO. Finally we'll receive the material into inventory. So destination type is inventory. Sub inventory is, this is the one which we have only one. System is defaulting. And if you want to negotiate, okay, whether when you are creating requisition, this requisition is negotiated or require some negotiation, that you can specify. Say this is already negotiated. You may specify all these details as required. Okay, if there is any urgency for delivery, you can set urgency as a urgent as yes, so that respective immediate action can be taken against this requisition to place the PO and to get the material into organization. Okay, so see, system is deriving the charge account. We set the charge account through tab PO tab. So that is the reason system is deriving this information. So that's all, just we given that information. Now you can just click on done. So this has to be submitted for approval. You can go to manage requisitions. So you search for entered by Google. What's wrong with this? Yep.
Will the suggested buyer name would show up on the PO or no?
Yes, it will be showing suggested buyer. If you just it is I mean automatic as a part of the requisition, you can have a buyer information also. So that would be routed to that buyer to create the to place the purchase order.
Lakshman,
Yep.
is there this concept of quotations here?
Sorry.
Quotations?
Yeah, quotations. Yes, you can do that quotation process also. One second, I'll go to purchase orders here. Why it is not displaying here? Okay, quickly we'll go and just create one more line. Why it is not displaying? So Google 1001 item price, I'll say $6,000. So it's already negotiated. So not required. You can specify the suggested buyer if you want, or else say destination type as inventory. Or you require, we can give all these details. Once we are done with that, say add to cart. Now say submit. This will go to approvals. Requisition 3 was submitted. Okay, you can see status of the requisition.
Lakshman, the account code combination that was showing on the requisition,
Yes.
um, so it's based on the setup we have done before, but is it possible to get some of the field from the employee expense default account like we get it in EBS or
We have, if that is a case, you have to set up the mapping set. We have a mapping set as a part of SLA. So today we just we define the rule directly as account rule we define. If you want to derive from the different source, what you can do is you can define the mapping set. The mapping set you can include in the account rule. Here we didn't create any mapping set. Directly we create account rule and we take in the constant code combination. That's the reason system is deriving. If you want to derive from specific source or based on the mapping set definition, you can do it, you can achieve it. Since this is a procurement related part, we are not going more deeper inside, I mean, to this definitions and all. You can do that, that is possible. We have option. Okay, next to account rule, when you are creating the account rule, below to account rule you can find an other task called as mapping set. You just, if you go with that, there we can define the conditions on what base, from which source system has to derive the accounting, that you can specify, that you can include into account rule, that finally you can take into this definition, and that you can include in the your SLA, I mean your primary ledger related sub ledger accounting method, that you can achieve. So here it is showing a pending approval. You just click on the status, it will update as it's approved, because we set auto approvals for requisition, that would be applicable. So you could see here as a approved. Now you can see the status against this also. So requisition is approved automatically. Reason for this, our business unit, the requisition should get approved automatically. So with the 6,000 it's got approved. Click on done. Now the requisition we have to convert into purchase order. Go to purchase orders. So here you could see there is one requisition line available requiring action. You can click on this. So this you can convert into PO. So in case of EBS we have auto create. The similar function we have here. You can select it. If you want to convert this requisition as a PO, you have to select that requisition and you have to click on add to document builder. Just click on add to document builder, and here you can specify any other information if you want to enter. So definitely we have to enter the supply details. For requisition information, we are adding the supplier details, site information, then say OK. Now it will display that complete information based on which detail system is going to create the purchase order. These are the details. If you want to edit, you can edit these details before you convert this requisition as a PO, or else directly you can say create. You are converting requisition as a purchase order. For PO also we set auto approvals, right? For our business unit, it has to be approved automatically. Okay. So this is information we are going to submit for approvals. So before, if you click on submit, it will be approved. Before submitting for approval, if you want to see, if you submit for approval, how it would be routed, whom it would be approved, if you want to see that, you can click on manage approvals. So it shows us it is going to be auto approval. Otherwise, if you set any approvals to be routed to so and so person supervisor, accordingly it will be showing to whom it would be submitted for approval. Now it will show system related approvals, since we define the rule as a, for our business unit, it has to be routed, it has to be approved automatically. Just if you click on manage approvals, what is the approvals implemented for, what, which approvals are applicable for this PO, it will display. See, application development framework application means auto approvals. So that's what we defined. You can just cancel this view and directly you can, from here you can submit for approval, or else now you can say submit. Now this PO will be submitted for approval. PO number is 1. So you must provide the value attribute called as bill to location. Bill to location is invalid. Okay, we have to go and set bill to location, so it's invalid. So bill to location, go to here, bill to location. We'll go with that Google US inventory location only as a bill to only, or any location you can choose. And if you want to see that accounts which system is deriving, what you could do is you can just go to distributions. Here you could see the charge account as the system is deriving. No, it's still in the lines. Go to distributions. The PO charge account is deriving. If you want to see other accounts, accrual account, variance account, click on edit. If you scroll little down here, you could see PO charge accrual, PO accrual account, PO variance account. So these are the accounts are required here. Now we can submit this PO for approval. Submit.
Lakshman,
Yeah, please.
the requisition BU and the procurement BU, it's getting defaulted based on the setup we have done for the data access for user, right?
Yes, this user has access to only one BU, that is getting defaulted. Even at the time of first time when you selected references, I mean create requisition lines, there only one BU we have. For that we added the delivery to location. So when you are creating the requisition, the same is getting defaulted. Now when you talk about PO it should get defaulted, because PO we are creating based on requisition. Here we are not creating through manual process, right? It's a copy of requisition information. So that is the reason it will take everything. Now we can find our purchase order under the status. Go to, we are under purchasing orders. Under orders, click on manage orders. Order number is 1. Click on search. Okay, pending approval. It may take some time to get approved. You can just click on the status, it will go and hit the process, or else you can wait for some time. You could notice as it's approved, it's not updated. Now you could see the same as approved. Just it's all about something refreshing. Now you can find the PO status as approved. So here in Fusion, you see if PO is approved, you could see the status as open. Open means approved. Okay, open means approved. So against this PO, whether deliveries happened and invoice is created or not, everything you can see from the life cycle. Here life cycle icon we have, click on that. It gives you the information. Fulfillment status. Pending fulfillment means against this PO items are not received. Billing status, open to invoice. Invoice is not created against this PO, fulfillment is not happened. That is the meaning of it. So now what we'll do is we'll go and create the receipt. Here status open means approved. Okay, you like EBS, you don't see the status as approved. In Fusion, if the PO is approved, you see the status as a open. It's a open. Okay, uh, for invoice creation, it's a and a fulfillment. Fine, done. Now we'll go and receive the material. To receive the material, you can just go to click on home icon, go to warehouse operations. So not this inventory management. You can go to inventory management. It's getting refreshed. Click on inventory management. Why it is not connecting? Or else we'll try from navigator. Just click on inventory management. Not sure why it is not connecting. We'll just sign out and try. Okay, just click on the task called as this springboard icon called as inventory management. It has to open other tasks, but it's just refreshing the page. Not sure why it is behaving like this. Product management. Why it is not opening? Just 1 second, please. Because seems to the roles are not at synchronized. Basically, it has to allow us. In the springboard icons, it is not at all showing the task also now. Creations, no, no, no. Nothing. Not showing. Okay, seems to the roles are not synchronized. No issues. Just chance it is coming under this. Fine. It may take some time. Sometimes this happens. Okay. Cannot do anything. Just we have to wait for some more time. So this creating the receipt and against that creating that invoice and all we'll see in the tomorrow session. Okay, that's all for today. Any questions from anyone, please? If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow same time.